Hello, Disney nerds. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the Disney Nerds Podcast Tuesday night live show. Come on in. Tonight, Lisa has the night off. I've got Morgan with me. Hello, Morgan. How are you?
Hey Jimmy, hey everybody, how is it going?
I am fantastic. Um, Once we get this up and running, I'm going to go ahead and share the show out to a few places if you guys could do the same. Um, While I'm doing that, let me tell you guys about DVC Resale Market. DVC Tonight's show is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market is the leader in selling resale DVC contracts. I just bought one myself. My friend Ian just is about to close on his shortly. He just made it out of right of first refusal. So Disney's right of first refusal. So he'll be closing pretty soon on his. If you want to be part of DVC, you want to save some money. It's a good financial choice. Contact our friends Derek or Nick over at DVC Resale Market. So we're going to go ahead and get the show shared out there. If you guys don't mind, while we're waiting on everybody to join, if you could do the same, we appreciate it. Hello, Rory. As of right now, you'll be there before me, so congratulations. I can't wait to be back. I'm not going to be there till June at this point, unless I can convince my wife to let me make a short, solo trip between now and then.
And I have no countdown.
You're going to try and make it for the meetups, aren't you?
I will be there for the meetup.
Hopefully you make it back before then, but worst case scenario, you'll be there for the meetup. So that's a countdown.
That's such a long countdown, though. I mean, come on.
You don't even want to put that on the calendar yet. Although we are starting to plan the meetups. We're actually starting to plan the actual meets now. So that's a good thing. Hey, Victoria, happy Tuesday. Thanks for coming in.
Rory's doing a solo trip. Those actually sometimes are the best trips.
I had a good time when I did. I mean, I wasn't exactly solo, because I did have people that I knew down there. But it technically, I guess, was a solo trip because I was the only one traveling, even though I met friends down there.
Yeah, but you don't have when you do a solo trip, you don't have to worry about anybody else getting ready in your room. If you want to stay up late, you don't have to worry about waking anybody up when you go into your room.
Definitely.
And everybody that lives there, they still have their work, they still have their lives that they need to do. So you're still gonna have solo time at the parks.
And I had a little bit of that when I was down on my solo trip. But my solo trip, Sam was down there at the same time. So I got to hang out with him quite a bit. And then, between Rachel, we were down there for a media event. So, and then Lisa and Angela came down for part of it. So it was, hey, Katie. Hey, Katie. 39 Days, Art of Animation, first time Skyliner. I am a fan of the Skyliner. I didn't think that I was going to be a fan of the Skyliner when it was first announced, and then I got to experience it, and I kind of changed my mind on the Skyliner.
But what I always think is kind of funny is we didn't get to ride it before they kind of changed everything. Lisa and Angela got to ride it before, and when they said you're coming in hot, I kind of felt like that when I rode it after they slowed things down. So I can't even imagine what they did before.
Yeah, and because I still feel like you're coming in pretty hot.
Yeah,
Kathy, that's awesome. 13 days, so she returns home. Scott can't be far off of that because he's going to be down on February 21st. Me and Kim were supposed to be down there the week after Mardi Gras, and it just worked out where we couldn't make it because of her work schedule. So we had to change it to June. I liked solo trips. Another trip I did that was fun was when my son Wyatt came, and then you and Charlotte were there at the same time. But
Yep.
when my son Wyatt came, he was probably 17 at the time,
Yeah,
and
almost 2 years ago.
yeah, and he, so I did what I wanted pretty much, and he tagged along. And if he didn't want to tag along, that was fine. He'd go back to the room and hang out and watch television or go off on his own. So that was cool too, because I didn't have to coordinate with anybody. Hey, Margie.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think the
Lindsay.
3 of us went to Disney Springs, and I think Wyatt went to go hang out in the room.
Yeah, he just went in the room and chilled out and watched TV and got something to eat. So yeah. Hey, Jessica, how are you? What's up, Bill? Ooh, 55 days to Tokyo Disney. That's awesome.
That is on. I think that's on all of our bucket lists. Is any Disney out overseas? So I'm a little jealous of you, Debbie.
The Disney increase isn't absurd, but it will make it more difficult for a lot of us to visit. I still think it's worth the price. And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight was, it's big news. I don't know exactly why it's big news because it happens every year. So I don't think it's that big of a news. And hey, Joe Diebold, 179 days for Natalie, split stay at the Contemporary and Beach Club. That's amazing. Natalie, are you DVC? Victoria, we'd love to have you at one of the meetups. They're a blast, especially the scavenger hunt is a lot of fun. That's awesome, Kathy. Me and my wife's anniversary is February 26th. It's our 20th anniversary, and we were supposed to be there the week after and ended up having to cancel. So that's okay. We're going to go to the coast and spend the night at the casino for our anniversary, and then we'll be in Disney in June. Congratulations, Bill, a boy.
Yay!
That's awesome. Congratulations. John said, I stayed at Art of Animation in June as a Disney travel agent for the first time I was ever at the resort. It's a great resort. I had a family suite for me and my wife with an hourglass lake view. Gorgeous. Yeah, I stayed at Art of Animation last year in January. Now we were at a Little Mermaid room, which I was just not that impressed with. It was okay, but it was a little dated, and that building is just so far away from everything else.
Which I think we talked about. That's probably why that they made them Little Mermaid rooms, so they could still sell them.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, Adi?
Hey, Adi.
What's happening? So far, Rory, my favorite, my go-to is probably All-Star Movies. For the money, I think it's my favorite. But I've stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge in a Savannah View room, and I've stayed at Bay Lake Tower and it was a Lakeview room, but we could actually see the theme park and see the fireworks, which was amazing. My bucket list is the Boardwalk.
And my favorite resort, my go-to is Pop for the money, but my favorite would be Boardwalk and Yacht Club.
Joe Debo, that is exactly right. The sky just fell. When they announced those prices, you would have think the sky fell, and I don't know why. It happens every year. I am, for one, not upset by the price increase. I would not be upset with the price increase if it deterred some of the crowds, because I feel like, and look, you can't have it both ways. You can't have cheap prices and small crowds. It just doesn't work that way. When the prices are cheap, you're going to get bigger crowds. Except for about 10, 15 years ago when the economy was really hurting, then they had cheap prices and low crowds because they were trying to get people to go into the parks. Yeah. But right now the economy is doing very well and people have a little extra money and they're spending it on vacation. So, you got high prices and still a lot of crowds. So it's not, I'm okay paying a little more to have less people in the parks. And now you just have to plan it better. That's the only thing.
And Scott said that his favorite resort is the Dolphin. I've stayed at the Dolphin, and I have to say this was maybe
one of them. I don't know which one.
Most comfortable bed I've ever slept in a hotel was at the Dolphin.
One of them has the better beds.
and that's probably the Dolphin. And I
One of
had
the
an
Dolphin,
Epcot
one of them
view.
has like upgraded beds.
Yeah.
Kathy, when I stay at the value resorts, when I stay at All Star Movies or Sports or Pop, I always tend to pay a little extra for the preferred room to be up front. Yes,
And for me, it doesn't matter as far as preferred rooms or not. It depends on if I'm driving and if I'm traveling with my mom. If I'm driving, I don't really care about the preferred room because I'm probably driving to and from the
Yeah, you
parks.
can park close to your room no matter where it is. It doesn't have to be close to the lobby. You can
Right.
park.
Preferred, and if I'm traveling with my mom, she has to have an ECV when we go to the park, so it's
you're
more of a preferred room because of we need to get you're close to the lobby.
Also, I wanted to bring up, we talked a little about it earlier. The dates for our the Disney Nerds podcast annual meetups are set. We have the group room rates available. If you reach out to me or just reach out to the Disney Nerds podcast, we can send you the rates in the group code with the number to Disney's groups department that you can book a room. Also, this year we are doing a paid event. I'm hammering out all the details with Disney right now, but we're getting a space on Thursday, November 12th for an Epcot fireworks party. And we're hoping it's going to be harmonious and not Epcot Forever. Not that anything's wrong with Epcot Forever. I like the show, but it'd be great if it was harmonious.
There's no official opening date for Harmonious yet.
It says later this year, and I mean, we're going in the middle of November, so I mean, how much later can it be? So I'm hoping it will be harmonious. But it looks like the tickets will be $70 for adults over 21, and it looks like it'll be $55 for people under 21. And what that's going to include is the private viewing area for the fireworks, which I think is going to be in the China Overlook area, which is right on the water. And we're going to have an open bar for 2 hours prior to the fireworks. So I know $70 a person is not cheap, but I think 2 hours open bar at Disney prices, most people can at least make it make sense, right? I know I can drink probably at least 5 drinks in 2 hours. So at Disney prices, that's at least $50, maybe $60.
Yeah.
So,
and I was gonna say the China location, depending on what time the Hollywood fireworks are, we might get to see some of them because sometimes you can see them, like the higher flying ones.
Yeah, and we'll be there from 7 to 9. The space, we'll have the space from 7 till the end of the fireworks, but the bar will be open 7 to 9. So we're working on that. I think it's a great deal. Hey, Brittany, 10 days. Yay. John says, I got a complimentary upgrade at Art of Animation. We originally had a Little Mermaid room, but we had some significant issues. Oh, no. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. At least they made it right. I thought the room I had, and we had a king room at Art of Animation at the Little Mermaid, but it was the regular room, but it had a king bed. And it wasn't terrible. I just found it a little dated and a little run down. They're super cute and themed well, but I don't know. Now that movies has always been a favorite of mine because of the theme, and now that those rooms are recently refurbished, I think it's the better value.
Yeah, honestly, I before they started upgrading value rooms, I did not want to do a value room. I'd rather pay for a moderate or a deluxe.
Yeah.
But I will now do a value if it's an upgraded room only.
Yeah. Yep. That's awesome, Charlene. 12 days to the Polynesian. That is on my list. That's where me and my wife were supposed to stay when we went at the end of February that we had to cancel. Now we're at Saratoga.
I actually just want, since everybody's got all these short countdown dates, what I want you guys to do is, if you haven't already been on our Instagram, we post pictures every day from us and also from you guys So I want you guys to email me 1 picture, 10 pictures, however many pictures you want. It's Morgan at the DisneyNerdsPodcast.com. So we can, with your Instagram handle, so I can get your pictures on our Instagram page. Since everybody's about to go, I want new pictures.
Yeah, get us some pictures. Email those pictures to Morgan at the Disney Nerds Podcast, along with your Instagram handle, so we can tag you and give you credit. We don't want to use your pictures without your credit.
Exactly.
So I need Joe Diebold to send some pictures because he takes fantastic pictures. So I need to get on him to send you some pictures to post to the Instagram.
I think, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're still on here, I think you've actually given me allowance to use your photos whenever I choose.
He's got great photos.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. My photography skills have kind of slacked off this last year, so I got to pick it up and try to get on Joe's level.
That is absolutely true, John. John said he's been to Disney probably 100 times in 5 cruises on the cruise line. Never had an issue that Disney has not made right. Yep, I agree 100%. One of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is everybody's freaking out about the price increases. And, well, if you just came back, Christine, go ahead and email some of those pictures. I see you got a cute picture there. Looks like your daughter with
your phone
with the fairy godmother. Go ahead and email some of those pictures to Morgan at the Disney Nerds Podcast, and we'll get those on our Instagram. Include your Instagram handle so we can give you credit and share some of your pictures with our people. So everybody was kind of freaking out about the price increase, and my thing was to think about just exactly what it cost and is it worth it. And I think it is. I still think it is. I think if you look at the price it costs to do most things that are entertainment, Disney is still a great value.
Yep.
If you look at the price these days of a concert ticket, that's $100+. You're gonna be there for 3 or 4 hours, and compare that to the same price of a day in Disney that you can be there for 13 hours. And I think the experiences and the people there are fantastic, and it's going to be one of the better experiences that you've had. Oh, Maria, you're making me jealous. I've never been to I've stopped at Fort Wilderness and walked to like the ATM and back because we were doing a fishing trip and that's where we had to go pay. But I've never really toured the fort. So I'm gonna have to meet up. Maria's at the fort all the time. So I'm gonna have to meet up with Maria and have her give me like a tour of Fort Wilderness.
I hear the restaurant there is actually, like, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a buffet, and I actually hear really good things about it. Jessica, Amazon. About that Amazon life.
Christine, I feel your pain. I'm an out-of-state AP holder. It's not cheap. It's not. And but I still think if you're gonna make more than 2 trips, and maybe not, maybe they've gotten to a point that if you're gonna do 2 trips for 6 days apiece, maybe the AP is not the way to go. Maybe you're better off doing a package and trying to get something like free dining or something like that saves you more money. So that's definitely something you have to do the math on. For us, I mean, last year I went 4 or 5 times to Disney, and so I definitely get the use out of it. I probably spent 30 days or 25 days in Disney last year. So for me, it's definitely worth the investment.
And since we're talking about, like, we haven't even mentioned the price. So let's get into the price increase. So everybody who hasn't heard yet, let's start with the annual pass. So this is from, it's all over, even the local Orlando newscast posted it.
The whole sky is falling.
Yeah.
Kathy, did you see our coverage of the media event for the Disney Nerds Podcast? If not, go back through the Disney Nerds Podcast Facebook page. Lisa was there for the media event last Friday for the Villains After Hours, and it was really cool. So if you haven't seen that, go. I think you had. I think I saw you in the chat, but just go check that out. If not, a lot of good information.
Yep, and we posted pictures and everything too, so definitely go check that out. But yeah, let's talk about the prices. Since we're talking about the increase, let's really look at how much did it really increase. So for annual passes, originally was $12.19 and it's now $12.95. Okay.
So about $80.
A platinum pass, which, if I'm not mistaken, the only difference between the plus and the platinum is you lose your water parks and the miniature golf stuff like that. Went from $11.19 to $11.95. So again, about $80. Okay. Disney Gold Pass, which is only available for Florida residents and DVC, went from $6.99 to $7.19. So $20. Okay.
Per year.
Per year. Disney Silver Pass. Again, this is also for Florida residents only. Went from $5.19 to $5.39. So again,
another thing I wanted to bring up just real quick: the Gold Pass is for Florida residents and DVC members, correct?
Yes.
And it's my understanding that the DVC has increased the discount on the Gold Pass to where they basically negated the price increase. I read that. Yeah, I read that today, that if you're a DVC member, you would pay in essence the same because they give you a little more discount on it. So I agree, Rudy. Well worth it.
So then we've got the Disney Theme Park Select Pass, which to my understanding only go to certain theme parks on certain days. I know some people that can't go to Hollywood on a Saturday or because they have this kind of pass. This is a Florida resident only pass. This did not have an increase. So it's $4.39. It's still $4.39.
It's the weekday select?
No, you got the weekday select pass. That's different.
Okay. Which one was that? I'm sorry. I missed it.
The Disney Theme Park Select Pass, which...
so that is the one it was equivalent to silver, but instead of blackout dates, it's only some parks are blacked out on some days, but there's a park you can go to any day of the year.
Right. So honestly, like for a Florida resident, this is not bad because unless you want to have that flexibility, if I can go to any park that I want to any day of the week, it's not a bad
and pass. Epcot is hardly ever, I don't think it's ever blacked out on that ticket. Now, eventually with the new rides, it may be, but right now, it's the place you can pretty much go every day. There's certain days, Studios is probably blacked out a lot. Like right now, they even have cast members blacked out of Studios.
Yeah. And then you got the weekday select pass, again, another Florida resident pass, went from $3.49 to $3.69. So again, about $20. And then finally, there's the Epcot After 4 pass for Florida residents. This, just like it says, let you know Epcot after 4 o'clock. Went from $3.04 to $3.19. So not even $20.
Yeah, $15. That's a very good point, Christine. Her daughter gets a 3 to 9 ticket. AP does not have that option. They're the same price no matter the age.
Right.
So that's a good point. Good, Kathy. I'm glad you saw that.
And that's just the annual pass. So I mean, like, again, it depends on how many times you go a year, how long you go, are you in the park every single day? And you've also got to factor in, you do get a merchandise and in some cases a dining discount by being a pass holder.
20% off of merchandise is a big deal.
Yep.
That adds up very quick every time you buy a Coke or a bottle of water or any one of those things. Anytime you buy
a Dooney and Burke purse for your wife, I'm just saying.
That makes you make up a lot of right there. Brandon Humble says 2 trips in 2020, 6 days in April, 4 days in November by renewing AP Platinum ×3. and one new AP Platinum at DVC rate saved me $1,211.64 going with AP over 10-day park tickets. AP is definitely, yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Yeah, that's a very good point. The AP rate on rooms for those of us, for those who aren't DVC, like I just bought DVC, but what I bought in DVC doesn't cover all my trips. It'll cover maybe one and a half trips if I'm lucky, which I may buy more DVC in the future. But without DVC, that AP rate that you get access to on hotel rooms and Disney is usually pretty good. And then the 20% off, that's a big deal. So don't forget about that. One of the other things I wanted to talk about tonight, and actually Lisa brought this up to me, was also thinking about not just annual pass, but if you are planning a trip to Walt Disney World and you're going to for the week, let's say you're going to Walt Disney World for the week, maybe one of the ways to cut some of the price is instead of doing 7-day park tickets, doing 4-day park tickets and finding other things to do around Walt Disney World that are less money than the park ticket, or maybe not any money. And so we wanted to brainstorm on some of those things. And one of the things I brought up to Lisa is I think just some of the stuff that goes on at the resort is often an overlooked value. They're with the cast members that do stuff by the pools, and they do tours of some of the resorts, and they do, I mean, there's so much to do around the resorts that I think it's often overlooked because a lot of people just want to do park time. And look, I'm guilty of that. I am not one who takes advantage of a lot of the stuff at the a lot of the stuff at the resorts, and I really should. Now that I'm a DVC member, I plan on doing that a little more, is spending a little more time at the resorts and enjoying some of those things.
Well, I mean, one thing, like so everybody knows Jimmy here is the official travel agent. I actually happen to also work under Jimmy as a travel agent as well. And one thing I tell clients all the time, especially when they're traveling with younger kids, you want to do a week vacation at Disney? Awesome. Do not get park tickets for every single day because you will burn out. I tell people that all the time, even before this increase. And doing the park, see, I'm opposite of Jimmy. I love spending time at the resort. One thing that I always do every time I check in is I take that guide that comes with my information and I see the schedule. I see what movies they're playing every night. I know like the Contemporary and some other resorts do yoga once a week.
Even the value resorts are doing that now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not just stuff by the pool. It's not just movies every night. They've got yoga. I know they do resort races. I've done a couple of the resort races. Now those cost money, but
not much. So not what a park ticket would cost you.
It's $15. I've done the one at Yacht Club, which I'm writing an article about, and I've also done the one at Port Orleans French Quarter. $15 each, and you do get stuff like the French Quarter one. I got beignets at the end of my race. Now, I mean, granted, I can go and buy some beignets, but might as well, work them off ahead of time.
What would the beignets cost? $8 or $9 probably. So I mean, out of the $15 you spent, I mean, you got some beignets out of it that would have cost you money.
Yeah,
so and value there too.
And you guys can go on our website and look at that article because I did that not last summer, but the summer before. I got like a little medal with some Mardi Gras beads because it was French Quarter. I got some Mickey beignets.
That's good stuff.
I mean, that was a good way to spend the morning for me. And in November, I did the Yacht Club race, which was about 1.5 miles. I got a little bag of stuff. I got some sunglasses. I got some headphones. I got a pin that you could only get by doing that race.
And, like I think all things in Disney World are, it's about the experience.
Yes.
So you get that experience. You got the story. You got that memory of something different. Jessica said the boardwalk is notorious for this. They have fantastic boardwalk boardwalk performers that would keep you entertained during the evening hours. I posted a video not too long ago to the Disney Nerds Podcast Facebook page. It was kind of, I think it was rainy out and kind of drizzly. It was cold. And I was sitting inside the boardwalk right underneath the carousel in the lobby. And I was just sitting there, and there was a guy like spinning a plate on a stick. So I recorded it, and he saw me record it. I waved over to him. He waved back to me while he's spinning the thing on the stick. And then he walked over and he took my phone with the camera and handed me the stick with the plate and recorded me doing it. And it was really cool. I mean, you can't, that's priceless. I mean, I don't know where else you can go and have an experience like that. So it was pretty amazing. So yeah, I agree. The boardwalk is,
and that would normally be a performer that's outside. So because of the bad weather, you got this like unique experience.
And it was just me and him. Nobody else was around, anywhere around. Yeah. So it was amazing. I also think Disney Springs.
Yes.
Let me get Scott's comments. My wife and I spent at least 15 days or more at Disney Park AP. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to spend that much time, the AP is the way to go.
But I mean, Disney Springs, I am a huge fan. Disney Springs actually has a little piece in my heart because that's where I worked at when I was in the college program. I actually devote a day to Disney Springs for shopping, hanging out at night, because just like all the performers at the boardwalk, they've now got all these awesome performers at night at Disney Springs.
Amazing entertainers.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you guys to comment on your favorite thing to do outside of the parks. So if you would, in the comments, just drop a quick comment on your favorite thing to do outside of the parks. Brandon brings up another point. If you get the gold pass or higher, you get the memory maker for free too. You get all your pictures for free. So that's $160 for one trip. So if you do 2 trips and you buy a memory maker each time, that's $300 you save. It's actually a very good point. So your favorite thing to do? Yes, floating piano. Yes, the guy on the floating piano. That's awesome. I'll tell you another cool thing is pools. That's a good one. Characters in flight. A lot of times you can get characters in flight. You can get a Groupon for that. I got a Groupon for it. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. I thought I would be scared to death. I was completely fine. I had a couple drinks when I went.
I was going to ask that.
I had a couple drinks when I went. But I was fine. It's completely enclosed. You feel safe. You don't feel like, and it was actually fairly windy when I went, but you can get a Groupon for characters in flight if you check. Now the Groupon doesn't allow you to go at night. Like you can only go up to like 6 o'clock during the day. My Groupon expired. So what they do is they still will give you back, even if your Groupon expires, they'll give you back what you paid for it towards the value of a ticket or whatever. And they actually gave us more than the value because we didn't have enough for one person. And you're like, don't worry about it. And they just gave him a ticket. So it was me and Caitlin and my cousin Christy and my godchild Henry, who was like probably 2 at the time, maybe 3 at the time. And it was awesome. It was at night and it was kind of windy, so the thing was moving around quite a bit. It was very cool. Let me read some of the comments. Maria, hotel hop and check out each resort shops. That is I love the shop at the Contemporary. Grand Floridian's got a couple cool shops, and you do find things at those shops that you don't find everywhere else.
Oh, Basin at Grand Floridian is I have to stop there.
I've been
every single time.
I've never been in the one in Grand Floridian. I've walked by it, but I have been in the Basin in Disney Springs, and I've washed my hands multiple times there.
A little known fact, though, is there's actually different stuff at the Grand Floridian Basin because at Basin White, it's a little bit more luxury than the one at Disney Springs.
Joe Diebold wants to know, does drinking at the bar count as a favorite thing to do?
With Jimmy's the host, yes.
If you've ever been to Disney World with Jimmy, you would know that drinking at the bar is, yes. Jimmy spends I spend quite a bit of time at the bar. I like the bars. Mike says resort hop. Toby says golf. Toby, I have never golfed in Disney. It's been a long time since I've golfed at all, but I would love to go golfing in Disney.
Golfed.
Hey, howdy, hey, over on the YouTube says riding on the boats and monorails. I will give you one better, not just riding on the boats, but renting a boat. Last year when we were there in November for the Disney Nerds podcast meetups, we had one day where all of us co-hosts and people that help out on the Disney Nerds podcast Facebook page and the website and all that got together and rented a pontoon boat. And I think it was about 8 of us. And that was about 8 of us. And we went for an hour. And what was it, like $10 a piece?
Yeah, it wasn't even $20.
Yeah, it was. I think it was $10 or $11 a piece is what it came out to. And it was very cool to be out on a pontoon boat, turn the radio on. We took off from the Polynesian, so you get to just take the pontoon boat right in front of Magic Kingdom and get all kind of pictures. We went over and you get to go right in front of the resorts and stuff.
Yeah, we went live when we were on there. So
we did.
If you guys watched the live video, you guys see Jimmy with his captain's hat.
Captain's hat, yes. Other boats were going by like, hey, they got a real captain. Christine, the boardwalk is just the boardwalk is it could be entertainment in itself. Yeah. Hello, Miss Cleo. Yes, I've never been to Orlando Eye.
This is my mom, you guys. So we always do Disney Springs. Orlando Eye is not on Disney property, but she does actually bring up a good point. If you're driving or if you want to rent a car, there is stuff to do off property to kind of offset the entertainment and save you money as far as that park ticket. But the Orlando Eye is amazing.
What's up, Mark Kovacs? How you doing, buddy? Maria, you're not helping my anxiety.
The water parade, but Maria brings up a good point, though.
Good.
The water parade, which you can see at Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge, Contemporary, Grand Floridian, and Polynesian, and it's been there since day one of Walt Disney being open, is amazing to watch. And I know we've done it live. I know Lisa's done it live for us. So if you guys are staying at any of those resorts or head over to any of those resorts at night and catch that, that's actually something really cool to see.
Another thing I would tell you is mini golf. I've never done it. I need to do that.
I did the Fantasia Gardens mini golf.
Inexpensive though, right?
Which one?
It said it's fairly inexpensive.
Yes, and they used to.
If you book a pack, you get coupons, huh?
Yeah.
You get a free round or something?
Not a free. I don't know if it's a free round, but it's definitely discounted.
You're not at the pool.
That's awesome. So one year, Mom did a conference, and they have covered cabanas. So at Contemporary, there's 2 pools, and one is like a small little round pool that kind of shoots out from the water, and you can rent a cabana, half day, all day, whatever you want to do. Comes with somebody to come by, so a cabana guy or girl, little mini fridge. They'll bring you drinks. I
don't think they're that expensive either. If you just want to do a pool day.
No.
I don't remember what it cost because I asked last year. We were doing the boat thing, I think, and our friend Melissa Benson invited me because they did a cabana and they invited us to go over to their cabana. And I asked her what that cost, and it wasn't a whole lot of money.
I want to say a couple $100 for the entire day. But if you split that with a family,
right? Because they're fairly large, right?
Yeah. But I don't know if they do pass holder discounts. Now, one thing with that, you have to be staying at the Contemporary to do a cabana.
Okay. And last year when Melissa she stayed at because for the group room rates, Contemporary was one of the places we had available, and she stayed at the Contemporary.
Yeah.
Mark Kovacs, we have shared more than a few adult beverages together. It's been a long time. Bar hopping through the resorts is all. Yep, I agree. Toby said, love to eat at Turf Club and ride boat over to Disney Springs.
I'm assuming, if I'm not mistaken, Turf Club is at Saratoga. Correct me if I'm wrong, Toby.
I believe so. I should know that. That's my home resort. I haven't stayed there yet, though.
Got to study up. Got to study up.
Buddy. Monorail pub crawl and bonus points. Catch the boat to Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge and add them to the crawl. I'd like it. Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it. Jess said you can also see it from Bay Lake Tower on the lakeside. She talked about the electrical the pageant.
When I said contemporary, I meant Bay Lake. I keep forgetting to separate them, but you're right, Jessica.
Mini golf challenge, a shot for every hole. What is that? Whew. Yes.
I want to know, is Joe bringing a flask to mini golf? Like,
how
is he working this out?
Joe's drinking at mini golf. I don't know. I like it. My speed.
Yep. Toby says yes, Saratoga. Okay. So we've gone through everybody's favorite things to do out of the parks. What is your favorite, Jimmy? Besides drinking, I'm going to challenge you a little bit.
I mean, I think just Disney Springs in general. I love the entertainment options. Me and Kim, I think there's some cool places to visit there, but there's also some great entertainment there. Raglan Road usually has some great. If you go inside, it's amazing because they get the dancers. But if you go outside, usually there's like an Irish band or people playing music outside on the patio. Me and Kim, the last time we were there, we went to Stargazers, which is the bar outside of Planet Hollywood. It's downstairs outside, and there was a great singer. She was I talked to her for a while, and she would just take requests and sing whatever, and she was amazing. And then after talking to her, she was part of American Dance Machine, which was the ones that did the concert at the American Gardens Theater. For a while they were doing concerts there. Hey Christine, how are you?
Hey Christine. Yeah, I mean, now, actually, you bring up Raglan Road, and I just want to point something out because we're getting close to St. Patrick's Day. Granted, yes, it's next month. But if you guys are in Disney or live in the area around St. Patrick's Day, Raglan Road is where you want it to be. They actually do like the entire weekend, and they just party, music, food, drinks. Like, I know they've had beer tastings there. Once I see the schedule, I'll post it on our group. But Raglan Road is a great time.
Heather brings up a good point. She says she drives down, so always making a stop at the outlet at either Vineland or the Orlando. I forgot the
International Drive. So there's if you guys don't know, there are two outlets. They are in the two outlet malls in Orlando, close to Disney Springs. The other one's on the end of I-Drive, International Drive. One tip though, so word has gotten out about the outlets, and I have seen pictures. Our park shopper April and Bobby, they actually stopped going to the outlets because there is a line, like you're about to get on Flight of Passage level kind of line to get into the store in the morning. So if you're gonna go,
I think it's back down a little bit. And for a while it hit like a fever pitch, and then I think they limited the people that could get in. So,
and that's what that line's for, because they only let a certain number of people in the store. So I totally agree with Heather. I stop at the outlet every single time that I'm down there. I stopped in November. Definitely worth a stop. Just be careful if you go in the mornings, because supposedly there are still just a lot of people there. So you'd be taking up a lot of your time in the morning.
Yep. Hey, howdy, hey. Brings up a very good point. I was actually about to mention it. Yeehaw Bob. That's to me, that's tough to beat as far as just free entertainment. You can go grab food from the food court over at Riverside and go sit in the bar and eat and watch, or you can just have drinks. The River Roost is a great place, so I 100% agree. with Yehabab
Now,
sitting in the Grand
every
Floridian listening to the pianist.
yes, and I was actually a little concerned with the Grand Floridian. They used to have that band on the second floor, so when they expanded the bar area, made it the Enchanted Rose, I was all worried where are they going to put the band? But luckily, the band's still there. They're just down the first floor. But even the band, if the pianist is not playing, checking out the band. I'm trying to think what other places. The
Scat Cat,
Geyser at Wilderness Lodge.
Scat Cat
Just
Club has music, live music.
yep. I actually checked out Scat Cat for the first time since they expanded when I was there in November because they were doing a promo. You buy a drink, you got free beignets.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
like I like me some beignets if you guys haven't figured it out yet. Um, and just the nice kind of cool jazz chill music while we're sipping our drinks and eating our beignets. It's a good time.
I already said last November. Last November we had about a half-hour wait to get in the Disney outlet, and if you bought something, another half hour or longer to check out.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, Adi, I'm assuming that you guys went in the morning.
My friend Ben Barker says, am I going to see a ton of Louisiana people by going during Mardi Gras? Yes, you will. A ton. A lot. It will be all purple and gold and black and gold. I promise.
So Heather brings up
afternoon tea is nice at the Grand Floridian. I've never
love
done
it.
that. I think it's I think that's something really cool.
I've done it. I've done it twice. I did it once with my mom, which any of you parents out there, I actually think it's
the cost.
The cost.
Idea. You don't have to.
Under $100. Like it's maybe more like the $50-$60 range. I know they do not do a Tables in Wonderland discount, but I don't know, so I don't think they'll do a pass holder discount. But that may always change. But like I said, I've done it with my mom, and any parent out there, that is actually a nice, especially with if you have a daughter, a nice one-on-one daddy-daughter, mom and daughter kind of experience that I highly recommend no matter your daughter's age. And I also did it with my friend just because she wanted to do it, and I was like, I love tea, let's do it again. So
Chip and Dale sing along at Fort Wilderness. I don't think I'm familiar with that.
I think we need to go hang out at Fort Wilderness longer.
I will also say a lot of the resorts do s'mores at night. They do campfire s'mores.
Yeah.
You can just buy they sell the little kits for not much money, I don't believe, that come with the graham crackers, the marshmallows, and the chocolate. And you can make s'mores by the fire.
And there are cast members to supervise, not saying that you can't, not take your not keep an eye on your kid, but there are cast members there too to supervise.
I will also say, Maria says she's going Thursday to make a wooden sign here at the campground. So that's cool. So some of the crafty stuff like that. I will also tell you one of the funnest things I've ever done. And it's a little expensive, but not if you have because you can go up to 5 people and split it. But we did a fishing charter out of the Polynesian. Me and Frank split it, and it was me, my son, Frank, his son, and his nephew. And I want to say it was like $170, but you can do like 5 adults. So you could have 5 people fishing. You go on a pontoon boat. There's lots of room. So if you do 5 people and split it, it's not that much money. And it was fun. You catch really nice bass, and it's all catch and release, but you get a captain that takes you out there. They put you on some fish, and it was a lot of fun. Frank almost caught like a 10-pound bass. He lost it right at the boat. Jessica says she brought their sons out to the tea at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that boys will not like the tea. I just know sometimes when boys get to the teenage age, they don't want to do anything girly.
Yeah, it depends on the age. It depends on the age and the kid.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, that honestly, I think that's an awesome experience, especially if you can do it one-on-one, like parent child. Like just because you have that cool little moment, just you and your kid
yeah.
drinking tea, eating some munchie. Yeah.
Maria says a movie and sing along with Chip and Dale. They used to come around and take pictures with everyone, and we brought chocolate chip cookies. Heather, I did the sea. Heather asked, "I'm going to do the sea racers for the first time on my upcoming trip," and he'd already done that before. I did the sea racers, but I was a teenager. I know our friend Courtney, who's in the Disney Nerds group, has done the sea racers before. It's been a long time since I did the sea racers. They look like a lot of fun. We've opted to do a group of us and rent the pontoon boat because you can do up to 10 people on the pontoon boat. But I'm sure the sea racers. I'm sure you'll have a good time on the sea racers. Absolutely. Yeah, Jessica, I totally get it.
Yeah. And I know at one point I think for the Food and Wine Festival that they were even doing a tea in England. So
Yes.
So a part of me kind of hopes that they do bring that back just as a different tea experience because I love me some tea. So
We're also doing a tour there for a little while. I don't know if they still do that.
I know they were doing a
Twinings
tour through
was doing a tour through the gardens, maybe.
Yeah, I know they were doing it during Food and Wine or not Food and Wine. Yeah, Food and Wine. I think Food and Wine is when they have like the teacups and like this is what your green tea's made out of. This is what your herbal tea's made out of, like showing you the plants, which I've done a post on before on our website. So I know they were doing a tour through that, and it was actually with somebody from Twinings, which is the tea they sell in the shop. So,
Mike said going through Disney withdrawal here. One kid in college this year and another one starting next year. Not sure when I'll be back there. Mike, I have one in college, one that just graduated high school. Decided not to. He went to trade school and he went straight to work as a machinist apprentice. But we leave them home. Is that bad? Are we not supposed to leave them home? We just go, me and my wife. We just leave them home.
I was saying you leave the kids at home.
They get to go every now and then. Like last year, we did a trip, just me and my son. We did a solo trip. That was year before last. But yeah, we most of the time they don't care if we go without them or not. So me and my wife just go.
Unless you're like me, if my mom goes without me, I raise a fit just because she's not allowed to go without me. So unless your kids are like me, then yeah, go without them.
Releasing ladybugs at Wilderness Lodge. I've heard of this before, the ladybug release.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if they only do that during certain times of the year.
Probably. They use ladybugs and wasps around the property to keep control of mosquitoes and insects that are pests. Maria says horseback riding and petting zoo. And today she saw the Segway tour. I would like to do the Segway tour. I would also like to do, and Maria, you may know, I would love to do horseback riding there, but I don't want to call myself an advanced like horseback rider, but we used to have a horse and I know how to ride a horse. Like, I don't know if it would be too controlled and too, you know what I mean? Like too much for a beginner for me to do the horseback riding.
Yeah, that would be interesting to find out is what level. Like, do they have it for beginners? Do they have intermediate? Do they have advanced?
Intermediate. Yeah, I don't consider myself an expert by any means. It's been a long time since I've been on a horse, but I've been on a horse enough that I don't want to just climb on and be spooked and just kind of walk.
Yeah, no, I've never touched a horse, so.
Oh, they're amazing. Hey, howdy, hey, from over on the YouTube says most resorts have scavenger hunts. Some of them have tours. I don't know. Yeah. You have to look. Years ago, we did a tour of the boardwalk, But the guy who did it, and it just depends. They need the right cast members there that are willing to put the research in and do the tour. It was a free tour. You just showed up on certain days at 9:00 in the morning at the Bellevue, and it was like an hour something tour, and then at the end of it they give you free ice cream.
And that's one thing I think is really important if you are staying on property, which if you can afford it, that's the way to go, no matter what level you stay at, is looking at that guide you get when you check in, or even turning the channel on your TV that tells you specifically what's going on in your resort, so you can see what events, like a scavenger hunt, like a tour, like the movies, yoga, whatever it is, see what's going on.
Sue says horseback riding and then also the carriage rides.
They do the carriage rides at Fort Wilderness.
I'm not sure, but they do it at Port Orleans.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard they do it at Port Orleans, which
one
of these days I'd like to do, but I kind of want.
I would love to do the carriage ride. I do not recommend renting a Surrey.
Yeah.
Almost died. We rented a Surrey. Me, Sam, my wife, and my daughter rented a Surrey at the boardwalk.
Didn't realize how big that hill was.
Whew, boy. And we didn't know. Me and Sam, and we had been drinking, and me and Sam were pedaling that thing, and my wife and my daughter were in the back not pedaling.
And if you guys don't know, the Surrey is the bicycles that can do 2 to 4 people.
We had to form 4.
Yeah, that is on boardwalk. So
we did the Behind the Scenes tour year before last as a group.
So 2.5 years. So not this last meetup, the meetup before.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Not much money, a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that's in the park, Mike. We're keeping it out of the park, but that is the
point. Good point. We were talking about stuff outside the park. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Trader Sam's. That's a great thing to do outside the park. Definitely worth a visit.
If you can get in.
Mom says Logan is a star.
Logan is one of the cats that just.
Oh yeah, he was just up here. No, he was just up on the.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Logan and Rogue are the cats that you will see running around the background, guys.
I caught it after you said that. I knew that. I knew Logan and Rogue.
And yes, they're X-Men.
My cats are Lucifer and Duchess.
Yeah, you went Disney with your names. I had to go Marvel. That was the boyfriend's compromise with naming them, as I couldn't go pure Disney, so we went Marvel.
That's okay, Mike. It's not your fault. It's not that big of a deal. That's still a great ad.
Oh yeah.
But the what we were going for is things that, like, if you're doing a Disney trip and trying to save some money, maybe you could do a 7-day trip, but only do 5-day tickets. And then what would you do with that extra day or two? That still adds value to your trip, but doesn't cost you anything. Yeah,
no, Mike, we're not knocking you. That is a really good suggestion.
No,
so
I love the tour.
Not knocking you at all.
I did. I'm a huge fan of the tours. Lisa, a couple years ago, probably 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, I had never been on any tour, and we went up for January. I think this was probably the first year we went for the Festival of the Arts. And we went in January. It was right around my birthday, and Lisa had took me on a tour. They surprised me with the Keys to the Kingdom tour. I didn't even know I was gone until the day before, and I loved it. And since then, I've been on Marceline the Magic Kingdom 3 times, which is amazing. If you want to introduce yourself to a tour that's not much money, Marceline the Magic Kingdom is fantastic. We went on Behind the Seeds, and then this past November, we did the World Showcase behind the scenes tour, which was amazing.
Yeah. And again, those are in the park.
In the parks, yeah.
Yeah. So they're great add-ons for your park days, guys.
Yep, for sure. All right, so we've gone just about an hour, and we appreciate all of your feedback and comments, and we appreciate you guys showing up every Tuesday night for our live stream. Don't forget to check out the Disney Nerds Podcast audio podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. If you got an Amazon, that's from a cast member. See, if you got Amazon Echo, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play the Disney Nerds Podcast. And Alexa will go ahead and play that Disney Nerds Podcast via TuneIn. We're also on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, any place podcast can be found. We've got a lot of good episodes there. A lot of great interviews on there with a lot of cool Disney people. So go check that out. Make sure to check out the DisneyNerdsPodcast.com. Make sure to like and follow the Disney Nerds Podcast on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at the Disney Nerds Podcast, Twitter at the Disney Nerds. Make sure to check out dvcresalemarket.com. They've got a ton of listings, and they don't last long. So if you're looking to buy or sell a DVC resale contract, reach out to Nick or Derek over at DVC Resale Market. And then also check out our friends over at Kingdom Strollers. If you're going to go to Disney and you need a stroller, Kingdom Strollers is the place to go. Much less expensive and a much nicer stroller than you're going to rent from Disney. And they'll deliver it and pick it up from you. And now they even offer delivery to the airport. So you can pick it up it'll be waiting for you at the airport. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Morgan, for coming on with us and taking Lisa's spot tonight after she sold us out. Just kidding.
We got to give you guys a day off every once in a while.
Well, she had a friend.
I'm the fill-in.
I'm teasing. She had a friend in town that was at the parks, I guess. So she went and hang out, and so somebody she hadn't seen in a while. So
she's getting very popular since she moved to Florida.
Very popular. Everybody wants to see her now that she's in Florida. It's interesting. I need to move to Florida.
Okay, let's all move to Florida. We'll just buy one big house.
I'm in. Just need to find a job. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks. Oh, turn her Alexa. Alexa, play the Disney Nerds Podcast. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully, it's playing the last episode of the Disney Nerds Podcast. Terry says I'm off Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday next time. So, yeah, we don't have meets any of those days. But yeah, Golden Oaks, Brandon, we're all moving to Golden Oaks. We need 15 of us. We're just gonna chip in.
I guess that means Brandon's in. So okay, we got.
Brandon's in. I can tell you, Brandon's in.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna get a list going up. My parents will probably want to come too. So we got more people there too.
Yes. Everybody gets a room. It'll be like a commune.
We're doing Golden Oaks. Everybody gets a wing. Come on, let's be real.
Yes, rooms are huge there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not that I would know. I've never been, but. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
And don't forget to send photos to me, Morgan at the Disney
your
Nerds
photos to Morgan at the DisneyNerdsPodcast.com so we can
have a great big beautiful
share them on our Instagram. Don't forget to put your Instagram handle on the email so I can give you guys credit.
Give you credit. We don't want to. We're not looking to steal your photos.
No.
So Adi says he's in.
All right.
Golden Oaks. Here we come.
We might need two houses at this point.
We might need two houses. That's right.
Side by side.
Miss you too, Terry. I'll see you soon. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all. Bonne nuit, les gens. Good night, people.
Have a magical night. Hakuna Matata.